Good evening, everybody. I have Dee with me tonight, and I think
Howdy.
Ronan will be joining us later. Hi, Dee.
Hi, Bonnie. Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
Doing good. I just put some bread in the bread maker, and I was going to text my girlfriends, and I totally forgot. So hopefully they'll show up. We usually follow you,
Oh,
Bonnie. You know, can't see chat, so we'll
no, I
see.
didn't.
There she is. Echo's here. That's good. That's good. Kiss off. Anaconda.
Kiss off, Echo, Daniel,
Ooh. Yeah, yes. Camo was showing
Anaconda.
some sewing today. Did you
Good to
see
see
that?
you all. No,
No?
my phone,
Yep.
like everything is falling apart all at once. My
Uh-oh.
phone is doing really weird things, and what it's popping up is things I don't want to see. And it's not showing me the people I'm subbed to. It's showing me other
Mm-hmm.
disgusting things, and I have not been looking for disgusting things, so I don't know why it's showing me these things. And
Oh.
it's not like deep, what do you call it, black hole stuff. It's just things that I have no desire to see.
Well, suddenly I have a Whitney
Like,
Houston song stuck in my head called All at Once. Anybody else out there? I found the funniest streamer. Her name is Jamie French. Does anybody else follow her? Oh my gosh, she's hilarious.
I don't think
She
I've heard of her.
is, yeah, she's pretty funny. But yeah,
Kenny.
sorry, Whitney Houston. All at once. You know Whitney Houston. And Tia Jack. What's up?
I don't know
Peter
the whole
Piper.
story there. He does have some
Hmm.
songs that I like.
Who does?
Whitney Houston.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, she's got a range on her voice. She got some pipes.
Peter Piper is going strong on FB. Hmm.
On Facebook. I don't know what that means. I don't know who that is. I don't know this
I don't
Peter
either.
Piper you speak of. It's a mystery to me. It's
I
a
know the little
mystery, kiss
saying.
off. Yeah, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. How many pecks of peppers did Peter Piper pick? Blah, blah, blah. Huh? How many? You say the thing. Y'all know the thing. Do I need to spell out?
Oh,
No.
oh. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, duh. But see, because our innocent minds, because we're just so innocent.
that Richard
Peter
guy, you
also,
know.
yeah, Peter also, poor Peter and Richard. They get a bad rap, you know. They're a cuss word. It's kind of sad for
Yeah.
them. I'd hate to be a
And
cuss word. I feel sorry
is
for
it
all
a
the
cuss
Karens
word?
out there.
It's just describing
Yeah.
the
Who decided
that
that's a good nickname for Richard? Whose bright idea was that? That's what I want to know. This is
I
not a
don't
bright
know,
idea.
but I had a great uncle, and that's his name. That's what we called him.
You called him Dick?
Yes,
Oh,
Uncle Dick.
Uncle Dick?
This is his
No
name.
way. Oh, God. Oh. Mm-mm-mm.
And I don't know what his real name was. Um, actually, I assume
Richard.
it's Richard. Yeah,
It had to be.
but
God, I hope so. I
um,
hope he didn't earn that reputation for any other reason than that. His name was Richard.
so when you tell somebody don't be a, you're not
Mm-hmm.
referring to the anatomy, you're like, it's a, I
Well,
don't know
sure,
that it's
but
a sword.
mhm. Yeah, but you know,
That's when I used to say dadgummit all the time, and hilarious too said that's old people's cursing. And I was like, well, I don't want to sound like old. I am old. Oh well, whatever.
yeah. And there's cursing and cussing, and they're both different.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but that's not what our subject is tonight.
No, it isn't. Not at all. You have one, don't you? It's not, and like you titled it "Promises," so of course I've had the. Is it Duran Duran that sings "You Make Me Promises, Promises"? Why do I blah 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 blah? I can't remember the rest of the song. You make me promises, promises. Come on, you know, don't you know that? That's all I know. That stupid song, just kind of lame. Obviously, it's
Yes,
very lame.
and his son, one of his sons was Dickie,
Better than having two
and
guys in the family called Dick, Big and Little. Is that Duran Duran, you guys?
you know how
You make me promises, promises. Why'd you pick that
because I
song,
actually
lady? Hmm.
I didn't.
Uh huh.
There's actually a Christian song called Promises. So it just depends on what you're looking for.
You know, if I was a
Yes,
real Christian, I
they
would know
shouldn't
that.
speak.
If I was a real Christian, I would know that. You know.
And the only reason I found that out is I was looking for another song and that one popped up. And I was like, well, I like the name of it. And there is scripture to back it, which I have pulled up. And so that's where it went. Stands alone. It's good to see you. And all of this started because of the news that I heard yesterday that happened in Africa. Did you hear about that? Okay, did jump ship.
No, I didn't hear about it. Sorry, I was muted. I couldn't get back to my mic.
So I am going to read it to you. Um, at least 85 killed by Nigerian army drone attack, raising questions about mistakes. So I'm not going to read the whole article to you. Apparently, this drone was set out to strike uh, terrorists, but it accidentally hit a church that was, of course, full of women and children and elderly. And um, so when I started digging a little deeper, which is what we do, um, I saw that this happens kind of on the regular. And um, why churches? And so it just started a snowball of questions and researching why. And so that's when I came up with um, actually, if y'all want the link to that, oh no, that's too long. You don't want the link to that. Um, where's the other one? So there's this website and it's called persecution.org, and it has persecutors of the year 2023. And it is just crazy. Washington International Christian Concern announces the release of its 2023 Persecutors of the Year report. 88-page report names the countries, entities, groups, and individuals that harass, imprison, torture, and assassinate Christians for practicing their faith. And
Mm-hmm. It's
it,
awful.
it
Yeah.
that one I can put the link for. It's but they have a whole website for this because it's so common, and that's what I was saying throughout all the wars and uh, what they do. I mean, I think maybe Christians, because Annie Jack, I know I said hello to you. Hello, Annie Jack.
Hello, Anya.
Tomcats World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that surprised you how many pages it was, because that means it's an awful lot of countries, right?
Yes, yes. And it's all around the world. It's worldwide. It's not just here. It's not just. And so you think back of, well, they crucified Jesus. So this has been going on forever. And so to me, it's just, um, that's why they came up with the symbols in the sand. That's why they went underground. That's why they carried just a piece of paper with a scripture written on it, sewn into their clothes. That's they
Right.
had to hide it that they were
Mm-hmm.
Christian just to stay alive.
Right.
Would we do that? I can't. I don't know. And so another one that caught my attention,
Mm-hmm.
because of all the protests, and it's this big battle between the Israelis and the Palestinians and whatever, but they're Muslim. They're so even though that's a it's a religion that I wouldn't quite agree with. They still are stuck in the Old Testament, maybe, where they believe in stoning people or beheading them or doing brutal acts against them. But the protest in DC at a certain time, they put down their mats and they all kneel down and pray. How dedicated is that?
Ironic.
And I have seen it
Mm-hmm.
in real life. We had a Montessori thing. It not to be confused with the school, the Montessori school or anything. Um, but and it was every day, and it was certain times of the day. It wasn't just once a day. It was like I don't know what the times were, but they stopped whatever they were doing, no matter what, and knelt and prayed. And I even heard in war that it was the same way, and that's kind of how that's when a lot of the attacks would happen because they knew that they were going to drop their weapons and kneel down and pray. They knew the times because it is an exact schedule that they will not ignore. Kind of crazy, huh? Hey, Sharon, good to see you.
Yeah, I mean that is a religious system of man reaching up to God. One of the best ways I've heard the Bible described is the Old Testament is man reaching up to God, trying to keep up to God's standards. Kind of obvious what the New
Yes,
Testament is. It's God reaching down to man fulfilling the standard. And, you know, when God
through
looks
Jesus.
at Jesus' people, he sees they are forgiven. It's a beautiful story. I don't get and I don't like the whole gruesome crucifixion thing fully. I get it somewhat in that all cultures seem to have it inside them to want to worship and also sacrifice. It just seems
Yes.
to be embedded. And some of them have sacrificed. So, and you know, they want a king, and I've never understood better than with watching this crap go on with Biden, that people want a fall guy. They don't want to self-govern. Spoon feed me.
Mm,
I don't want to do the work. Assembling 13 people per county is not a lot of work. After 3.5 years, how many people are on the calls? We've got a
right.
handful of people that Sean scooped up and, you know, invited us to be
Yeah.
part of the fourth branch of government. You know, and people, if they're not engaged now, apparently it's going to take kinetic action on the street. I mean, there, you know, I hate to be a fear monger at all. It's just like every time I look around, though, everything seems to be for the Americans' benefit to wake out of their entertainment stupor
Hi, Andy.
and look around and see what's going on. What has happened to children? They're dehumanizing children. They're openly depopulating in our face, and they're burning shit down left and right. They started burning another
Yes.
place. Echo sent me a video of another guy trying to put out some fire. He says it's like coal. He's in some other area somewhere. This started with Centralia. And, you know, they burned San Francisco to the freaking ground in 1905. It's starting to become a lot more clearer now. How many times does it feel like this has happened? Has anyone
Yeah.
thought of that or felt like we've been here before? We're dumb people. We're dumb. We're dum dums.
Look at
I've been a
the
dum dum.
fire of Chicago. Chicago was burned down.
Yeah, they burn them. They're going to burn us all down to the ground. I hate to be the bearer of bad news in case you haven't figured it out, but that's why everybody's building underground bunkers. I'm not doing that. I don't want to live like a refugee, like a runaway. I'll die on my feet. Thank you very much.
No,
You know,
no.
I'll die
And
trying.
that's it. We can't hide. We know we can't hide.
Mm-mm.
We know
And we
that the
shouldn't have
drones
to.
can
Yeah.
take you out no matter where you are. And yes, that's what I'm saying is, to me, it would be better to be out in the open. Yep, here I am. And praise
Hi,
God, I'm
Indy. Good to
still
see you,
standing
love.
here. And
Mm-hmm.
here we
Yeah.
go.
Right. I
It's
mean,
not,
yeah. Mm-hmm. They've
I don't
always
know.
just been more obnoxious, louder. They have the media, they have the entertainment. They do have some damn good weaponry that we've allowed them to build up with our money. And you know,
Yes.
there's a lot of problems. It's hard to know where to begin, but
And
there's a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
that's where it's separated from constitutional. So the purpose of all of
Mm-hmm.
that, and
Yeah.
I know there's going to be some people that are lurking that are going to be laughing their heads off, but I don't care. The purpose of all of that, I believe, the forefathers when they wrote that, and there was some problems with the forefathers too. I'm not saying they were perfect, but still, they were there. There was some loopholes in that. So that's why the three need to go together: the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution. And so, but the thought was like World War One. From my understanding, we didn't have a military built up. It was whenever everyone was hearing on the radio what was happening, the men went straight to go sign up and go fight this battle that they felt the need to fight. And so from my understanding is that's why they called it a militia, military militia, you know, just it's just my head
Right.
spinning here. And but they were to go home when they got done. It once it was over, they were to go home. It wasn't a career. It wasn't
Right.
like it is now. And so that's where I think everyone keeps calling it a corporation now. So that has become part of that corporation instead of run by the people as it was supposed to have been.
Right.
It's so, yeah, they're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff. But then at the same time, when you look worldwide, everybody does. So shouldn't we try to keep up with them? But it's from what I've seen and what I hear, we're kind of lacking because we've seen it all over everywhere else.
Everything is tainted. Everything has been taken over. All our money, all our control, because the people are not engaged. That's what it gets down to. That's just the way I see it. And so, like one of the biggest things
Yes.
that I heard Destry say was there can be no de facto as long as there's a de jure in place. 13 people assembling is nothing. It starts with getting on your national calls for your county or your state, not national, excuse me. And, if anybody wanted to do that, Sean Stryker's the guy to talk to. He will send you the link. Because
Yeah.
he knows what particular shows a beginner could come into, because now I'm starting to get invited to more serious, well, not more serious, but doesn't it seem like now we're
Yeah.
talking about remedy and gathering evidence and laying out our
Yes.
case. And now you were on that call. I just want to ask you a question. I mentioned affidavits. You might have had to leave though, because after I did, one of the ladies said she made it seem like all that the assembly is asking people to do right now is put people on notice. Were you there for that when she said that by
I have
chance?
heard that before. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if I heard it then, but I've heard
Mm-hmm.
that before. And
Okay.
it's
Yeah, because I was talking about the red flags, and I thought that's what I understood them to be. Now, as far as having to go out and file claims and hold these people, try to take on entire city councils or entire boards, the sad reality is, I think people are seeing the problem is that Americans are still not engaged. They are
right.
still acting like everything is fine. They don't know what's going on around the world. They didn't just live through the most horrible tyranny our country's seen in 100 years. Or, I don't know. Yeah, because we didn't have,
Or
well, I mean,
are
people
they
have seen it.
choosing to just keep living life? Because we have to keep doing that. We can't stay in a state of anger
There's
and
Camel.
confusion, just constant. That's going to destroy you. That's going to put so
Right.
much stress on you that you cannot function. So
Warriors,
I think,
pray for the whistleblowers. That'll relieve your mind. Pray for the
yeah,
whistleblowers.
and
Pray
I
for them.
see
They need
around
it.
me, it's
Mm-hmm.
people are living. We just went tonight, and I was filming the Christmas lights, and
Oh,
Friday we
yeah,
go to the
cool.
Living Nativity,
Oh,
and
I love those so much. Those are so cool.
So I did see
Yes.
someone in a chat say, do what you can to make this the best Christmas ever. Praising Jesus while you're doing it. That it's all about him. And I was like, that is so true. Because, and well, they continued on, this may be our last Christmas ever. I don't know that I am at that point, but still,
I'm with them
it's
on it's every day.
it's a
I
good
can't exalt,
inspiration. Yes.
Christmas over to tomorrow. Honestly, yeah, well, maybe our family may be able to be all together and we will go to church. We'll have Christmas Eve candlelight service. This year, we're probably going to go to church twice or maybe just Christmas Eve, who knows, but we have traditions, but it's not
Yes,
about making that day above tomorrow because we don't even know if all of us are going to make it to Christmas. Quite honestly, it's 21 days away. And
absolutely.
I've just
You
lived this
wouldn't
way a long
believe.
time. It sounds arrogant, but it's true. If you really do live every day, like you don't know if you're guaranteed tomorrow. I
Well, yeah.
yeah, I can't live any other way. I don't know how to live any other way. So,
Well, that's,
but
I just
Christmas is
went and got me
special.
the
It's a
lights
religion.
too.
It's part
And
of
I'm going to hang
religion.
them
And
all over the house, and they're going to stay there year round
like,
because I like
yeah,
the lights.
a
And
lot of people love
but
the
the
lights. Yeah.
but we do praise Jesus every day. I mean,
Hmm.
every day
Yeah.
we're in prayer, thanking him for our blessings. And so it's not that. It's, I mean, the whole month of December,
Hasta
I'm just, whatever's available, that's what I'm going to. And Ark Wildman,
Right.
good to see you. The
Yep. Ark
Stua.
Wild Man. Hasta. Hasta. Hasta.
And so there was this movie that came out in 2020, and I saw the previews of it, and I was like, oh, I still want to see that. But I couldn't ever remember the name. And I don't know how, but oddly enough, I found it, and it's on YouTube, and it's free. And it's called I Am Gabriel. And so I watched it. Um, in this movie, this little boy comes to the town and kind of fixes it. And it's in Promise, Texas. I think is the name of it. That could be one of
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
That's something popped up.
Funny.
And that's what I'm telling you. This is how it works with me. I don't know what I'm going to do on a live, and everything just kind of falls into place. And here we go. But the one thing in this movie, and maybe I should have waited for Ronan to talk about this, but um, is he was having them make prayer mats the whole town, and they would put these mats down on the ground and kneel down on them and pray. And so, who does that sound like? And so it's kind of,
Muslims.
mm-hmm. So I don't know, but um, it was a good movie. There was some good messages in it, and um, I feel like a lot of the religions, the churches that I have gone to, um, it okay, and I am so sorry if any of y'all are Catholic. It's easiest for me to say that one, even though almost all of them have been hypocritical. It just seems
I'm a
like there's more
recovered
focus.
Catholic. I'm a recovered
It's
Catholic. Don't worry. I'm not ashamed to say
so.
that either. Yeah.
Does it say that? Does it seem to you like there's more focus on Mary than there is
Oh,
Jesus?
yes,
And
of course.
and
Well, to pray to Mary and to pray to dead saints. They're both dead,
The
by the way.
rosary, and yes, all the
Hmm.
saints,
All
and
of
you wear
that.
the saints necklaces, and yes,
It's
I
actually what.
I
Yeah, and
do it.
if I don't, if you don't mind, I would also add when I started to read the Bible as someone who walked away from the Catholic religion and didn't want any part to do with it. I was astonished to find that it says in there, call no man but your God, Father in heaven, Father. Like it literally says that in there. So why are people running around calling priests father or anything? It's
Yes,
like it and yeah, the worship the saints, praying. I don't think there's good Catholics going to be in heaven. There's nothing to be sorry about pointing out what the Bible says. Jesus mentioned that God does not care for repetition, repetitious prayer. He wants a prayer from the heart, and so
yes,
there's a lot of things that it's not even just, oh, we notice these things. There are actual verses in the Bible that I don't really know how they get around those other than they never read them. That's so, but there's good
yeah,
Catholics there. They love Jesus. That's where a lot of people learned about Jesus. And like my husband's grandma, she's a saint. But what's weird too, when I first became a Christian, was learning that the Bible says you and I are saints, Bonnie. And growing up, to me, saints were exalted. They were I love Saint Francis of Assisi. I wanted to be just like him, but
right.
really, that's a saint is a repentant sinner. We're saints. We're gathered with the saints, right
That's
here.
true.
It's true, and it sounds
And
so foreign and weird to Catholics. That's a shame about it. You know what I mean?
Carl, she's not saying you're 100. Yeah, and that's in that movie. He was. Uh, oh goodness, you had said something a second ago that reminded me of something. Um, but the whole problem was the reason he showed up there is because the whole town had lost faith. And um, when the Saints go marching in, that's a good song. um, there's a scripture I want to read. This is 2 Peter
Okay.
1:3-5. As his divine power has given to us all things that pertain to life and godliness, through the knowledge of him who called us by glory and virtue, by which have been given to us exceedingly great and precious promises, that through these you may be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And it can be lust of money, lust of power, lust of, you know, it's not, it's anything that comes above Christ, right? Luster again, checking on the bread, maybe.
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. I lost you. My
Oh,
husband had called me, so I had to text him and let him know that I was with you.
okay.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I lost what you said. I know you read First Peter or Second Peter 3. What? I'm so sorry, Bonnie.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's it's 2 Peter 1
Mhm.
3-5.
Okay.
And um, do you want me to read it over again?
Please. Yeah.
Okay. This is verse 3. As his divine power has given to us all things that pertain to life and godliness, through the knowledge of him who called us by glory and virtue, by which have been given to us exceedingly great and precious promises, that through these you may be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And that said, which can be lust of money, lust of power, lust of anything above Christ. Great. It's
Okay.
good to see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that. It sounds just like one of Paul's
Hey, Lauren.
prayers. I used to pray those prayers. They were mostly Paul's, but that one just that's in Peter, huh? Interesting. Because there's these, it was Paul praying for us even in the future, you know. And my
Yeah.
prayer life was never better than when I remember I went to a ladies retreat one time, and this lady was like, if you like to pray other people's prayers, because I was actually reading a lot of Stormy O'Martin's books. Her first book was The Power of the Praying Woman. And then she had
Mhm.
like Power of the Praying Nation and Wife and Mother and all, like she wrote a book for everything, you know. And she's like, if you like praying other people's prayers, pray Paul's prayers. He wrote them for us in the future, and they're so heady, like, yeah, the exceeding power towards us who believe. And it's again, it's that beautiful language of inspiration, and knowing like we have a higher calling. Those words are inspiring. They're not some bland blah.
Yeah.
Like, think of a song today, some of these dumbed down people and their quote unquote poetry or their writings, or it's so trashy compared to the poetry of the Bible, to music, playing music, classical music, the Constitution. I mean, sometimes I struggle trying to understand what the founding fathers were saying, but I'll say this about your topic is about persecution. They were tapping into God's natural law too. So when
Yes.
people violate Christians, they're even violating what goes back to the Magna Carta is what, 1215. I mean, it's written on every man's heart.
Yeah.
The everyone's valuable, from the homeless person to the businessman in the suit or whatever. And we shouldn't have
Yes.
to be taught these things, but our society, our world, look, it's either the world or it's
Has
godly.
divided people.
Well, this world
Yeah.
is divided. This world is at enmity with God. That's another Bible verse. That's a reality. This is Satan's domain, people. He is the prince and power of the air waves. He is the one who has control over the airwaves. Literally, this earth is it's tainted with evil, and we're part of it. And we need to tap into that
Yes.
supernatural power that is out of this world. Jesus was an alien. He was an alien too.
So I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because I keep hearing a lot of people say, and it's not to give him power or honor or anything like that. Do you believe there's a devil?
Absolutely. Steal, kill, and destroy. And was an angel, fell, took a third of the devils with him,
I mean,
cohabitated with
satanic
humans.
worshipers are worshiping
Hmm.
something.
Well, sure. How can people see all this evil and not see that there is a God? One of the greatest books to read is called The
Yeah.
Case for Christ, because the man goes to disprove the Bible. His wife became a believer. He was editor for the Chicago Tribune, I can't think of his name, but he was so mad his wife became a believer. And he one of the things I learned from that book is how he learned and realized, but I've heard this before from other good pastors, even a watch's design is just like the human bodies. Not just like, but there's so many parallels and evidence of design. It's, faith is
Yep.
the things unseen, the substance of things obscene, the things hoped for, something like that. You can't see it, but
Yep.
and there's intelligent design behind our human bodies, a watch, and they're so similar. It's hard to deny, a God. Even the many tribal people and cultures all around the world. There's a book called Eternity in Their Hearts, and you can find that book, and it's a great book because there's all these different cultures, and they just know. Even the natives believe in the great spirit, the one true God, not many
Yep.
gods. Those Look at those cultures that believe in a lot voodoo and magic and shit. They're freaking mess. Okay, they're freaking mess. Look at them. They can't get their shit together. They can't talk in the same language even. They're in inner turmoil. They can't, and that's what scares me about where we're at in America. We're like speaking in babble, and we can't even get on the same page. We can't get 13 people in every county. Each state needs 2/3 of your counties to have 13 people in each county to be properly assembled, to override the Organic Act of 1871. This should not be a problem after 3.5 years of the last 3.5 years. You know how many people have been waiting for people to wake up like this for so long? And I just woke up. I was
All Chris
ignorant.
King.
There she is. I told her she better get her butt in here. I forgot to text my girls. I was going to text my girls. And I
You're
forgot.
right.
Yeah, you better be sorry. I'm kidding. Oh, yeah. Don't believe in Satan. Well, you don't have to be sorry about it. I just think people are entitled to believe what they want.
Yes,
I think
but
that
I'm just
try to
saying that
read the
I
Bible.
have
Try to read the
seen.
Bible if you don't read the Bible, and then tell me that. Tell me if you don't notice some opposition come out, some invisible opposition. You figure it out. You figure it
Yes,
out.
but
I
I
don't
have
see how you get
seen
around that. But
a building that satanic worshiping was done in, and
mhm.
it's I don't even want to think about it. I mean, it's not. Um, just if you're going near a place and you feel it in your gut that there's some major evil there, trust your gut,
Mhm.
because you just don't want to even see it. It's
Mhm.
just
I remember one time I walked into this bookstore on the plaza in Arcata, and
mm,
it was empty. There was nobody there except one guy behind the counter. And it was just it immediately was it was a hot warm day, but it felt cold. I felt really cold. And then I looked at the guy, and like my blood just went cold. And I think I was out of there in less than 30 seconds. I don't know what it was about him other than he was so evil to me. I just felt that presence. And I was like, get me the F out of here now. Bye, Felicia. Gotta go. You know. Mm-mm.
and
Sometimes you just
so
know.
yes, and so
Mm-hmm.
do you believe that um, the evil can take control of you? I mean,
Me personally, I.
if it was somebody, mm, I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe someone without faith, maybe someone who didn't have that true connection with God. Maybe,
Well, again, it wouldn't be what I believe.
I,
It's what the Bible says. It'd be what the Bible says about it. And I don't know where the verses
right.
are
And
about that,
the
but
Bible
yeah.
describes demons taking
Yes.
people over.
Possession.
So,
Yeah. And I've seen people be possessed for sure. Have I ever seen anybody be relieved of it? No. Haven't seen that personally myself. I have seen people that were on hard drugs get clean and their lives turned around that love the Lord. I've seen people do it that don't love Jesus. That's more rare. But I do have a friend who, when she found out she was pregnant, she got off of heroin. She's been in NA for, shoot, 20. Her son's my kid's age, 25, I think. 25 years, you know. And I think she believes in God, but I don't think that people have to believe in everything the same. I do think believing in Jesus
right,
is important for salvation. If people don't want to be with God, why do they think that they would be with God in the end then? If they have free will, that's the dilemma, is like, well, that's,
right,
and then some think that hell is going to be being able to see people that are with God and with, you know, with the Trinity, with the heavens, and they're not going to be there. And hell, Jesus talked about hell a lot, and he talked about money a lot. And Christians don't live
yes.
like either thing exists. Many of them don't. Many of them don't. And I don't want to run around talking about hell to people either. But I mean, if they ask me about hard topics, I'm gonna, you know, we want to love people. You know, Jesus is loving. He doesn't usually draw people in with condemnation. There's no condemnation for those who are in Christ. Period. Look what Christians do.
Right.
You know, it sucks. I'm condemned in my own church. I can't serve in the ministry with children in a church that we helped found. You know, and there was only a few people going there, and I don't want to sound like a martyr about it, but it's kind of a burn. But am I going to get in the way of what God put on my pastor's heart about cannabis? I'm in Humboldt County. It's the head of pot culture. People are trafficked through it. It is a problem. The problem, the way I see it, is they've criminalized a plant. And if we're both looking at the Bible, and the Bible says God made everything, even the green herb of the field, well, then I don't think we're reading the same book sometimes. And I don't. And then there's all these law enforcement snitch people that are all proud of, how many plants they eradicate and stuff. And it's like, you know what? You're not reading the same book then. You're wrong. It's in there. It's plain as damn day. We'd be self-sufficient if we could use that plant. We can't be self-sufficient. We can't create our own fuel for our own cars or for our own homes or for anything. And we could, if we need, petro is gold. We need petroleum. We need oil. People want to poo poo it, but everybody uses it for everything. It is used for everything. And it's so dumb. But if God did that
And
with, yeah, then I support my pastor. I love him.
Stephanie,
Stephanie Kerr in the house. What? Oh my goodness. And Brew.
you're fine. Yep,
Seeing the
Brew.
demons in people's eyes. Oh yeah, the black and lifeless, cruel and mean. Yep. Yep. For sure.
I have seen non-believers be used, believe it or not, by God. I have seen
Sure.
non-believers be converted.
Sure.
Um, and but I think there's a difference. You can be a
Oh, Bundy.
non-believer and not be absolutely evil.
Sure. How do couples stay married without Jesus? I, you guys are
Well, that,
unbelievable, fathom freaking nature, but some people do it. They love their person. My husband and I could not do it. We would kill each other, or we'd have been divorced, or we would have cheated on each other, or, that's for sure. We know that. We already know that.
we're not preachy. We're just asking
Hmm?
questions and looking for answers. Um,
Preachy. No, he's just being funny.
yeah,
Al's cool.
and none of us are perfect, and but that's kind of the beauty of it too, is that you can strive all your life, but there's always going to be something, and just knowing that you're still accepted by
Hmm.
Christ with that something.
Hmm.
That's that's the that's the gift. That's it.
There are some people that, like out here in Humboldt, it's a lot of new agey people, and there are a lot of good people, and some of them, they're very good people. There's people that are into Reiki, they're into this, they're into that, and they're into tapping into the Christ energy, is what they want to call it. But I just think it's to me,
Yes,
it is
they're
different because
still searching.
I knew all that before, and to me, it
Yep,
wasn't the same. It was, they always want to change the Bible story. They want to take it because they don't want to deny it, and that's what Satan does. Is he's quite the counterfeit. I mean, and that's how you know when it's like
yes,
it's almost the truth, but no, it's not. And it's too good to be true. But in not this weird sixth dimension or, earth fleshy realm, in the afterlife, in our spiritual bodies, where that energy has to go somewhere. I've seen dead bodies where they were alive one minute and the next minute they're dead. And it's like, it's just too weird of a presence to be there one minute and then it's gone. It's just gone. It's like it goes somewhere. It's got to go somewhere. Everybody knows that. Where's it going? You
yeah,
know, where's it going? Who knows? There's a lot of people that have came close to dying. There's a lot of people that have gotten out of things supernaturally. They profess Christ. They profess the God of the Bible. There's probably other
oh,
people.
yes.
I don't know what the Gabriel thing was about again. Did you say? Yeah, Stephanie had a good
I'm
story about
sorry.
it too. I remember. I don't remember what the Gabriel you were waiting. Oh, you were waiting for Ronan. That's what it was. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't
No,
see that
I
one. I remember the movie
that
Michael
is
about the
forgotten.
angel. It was not biblical at all, but it was funny. I got stuck. I can
Yeah.
still sing the pie song. If you want me to, just let me know. But I'll spare y'all in case
And
ex-wives are too good to be
that's
true.
the thing.
Al, you're too funny. Al thought his ex-wives were too good to be true, but then he found out. Oh, that sucks, Al. I'm sorry. Women, they're a mess. And men, they're a mess too, ladies. I'm sorry. We're all a mess. Humanity's a mess. I'm praying for us and doing the best we can. We're trying to. That's what Bonnie's show's always been about. Community, coming together, praying for each other, being there
Yes,
for each other, solutions, topics. It's hard to, a lot of times people don't stay on topic, and she'd like to stay on topic, but sometimes people want to just come and vent, and I've been guilty of doing that too. I told her I would behave really good tonight. Haven't I been so good, Bonnie?
yes,
Tried
you
really hard. No, not much swearing, a little bit, just but no F bombs. And
just be you. That's
I am being me. I know,
I
but
like okay.
I know, but
I
sometimes
like
I'm too much for
honesty,
myself.
and see, we still love you, and
I know. Maybe some
that's what
people
it's all
do.
about. And
Some people probably left. They're like,
all
oh
these
no,
people,
that bitch is on. I gotta go. Not
all
that
these
bitch
people in
again.
chat from the very beginning, I've been saying they're like the little lights. They're like, I can see them lifting each other up. I can see them praying for each other.
Mm,
I can see them
yeah.
being, even if it's cracking a joke, somebody needed that. Or because we've got to have some humor during these times. We've got to have all of it, the love, the nourishing, the lifting each other up, the all of it.
Yeah.
It all goes together.
I got a great visual of
Stephanie
a
said
bunch of
something
little.
a while ago.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, honey.
Excuse me, just a moment.
Hmm. I got a great visual when she was talking about all you little being little lights, how all together coming together, and not necessarily a circle, but I was picturing a circle, but just how as candles come together, it creates a brighter light, a bigger light somehow. And we don't see it or understand it
Yes,
necessarily. I mean, we do, but there are things that happen behind the scenes when we pray for each other, when we think about each other. I pray for my
yes,
YouTube friends specifically, all of you, a lot of you. I don't want to say all of you. I'd be guilty. I don't know if I've prayed for. Let me see if there's some sucker in here I haven't prayed. Tomcats World. I'm sorry. I may never have prayed, but I'm gonna now. um, Dig Deeper Ministry. Well, I
Tomcats
know
World
I've prayed for them because that's Lake Fairy's man, isn't he? Prayed for people that are
has
on
a
YouTube and are trying to do the right thing. That's important. People need prayer for that.
yes,
It's a hard
and
It's a hard luck life.
World.
Sorry, I'm
I
gonna
think
mute
I
myself
met
right now.
Tomcats World at Mad Shad. Um, Mad
Mm.
Shad does a trial by acts on Friday, Saturday. I can't remember which one. It's been a minute since I've been over there. And
Oh, Stephanie,
um and so
we miss you. I love you, honey.
that's I love what Indy's doing, bringing the community together. That's what I've been trying to do is actually get more of the channels together so that we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be so um divided. It just seems
Mm-hmm.
divided. And I hate seeing that. There's
Yeah,
there's awesome, amazing people in this community. Hey Benjamin.
Benjamin.
And um wait, where did Stephanie go? Yes, she is. Stephanie, I've missed you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
She loves to play on death's door for some reason. It's almost
I
like her favorite.
know.
No, just kidding. But man, she really was close to it again. I mean, this woman, septic, in the
Yes,
hospital, out, back in, ICU.
yep.
So I don't think it was California's fault entirely, Stephanie. I'm just saying. I'm just teasing her because she got the hell out of here. And I'm happy for her. Good for you, honey. Good for you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
understand that when you're right there, um it, I told someone the other day, I've seen him, seen Jesus. I don't know at that time, uh, there's been 3 different times. One time it was like vivid, wide awake. Um, I wasn't uh, like bedridden at that point at that time when I saw that one, and um, my daughter had to go for a test in another town. I went with her, and there there were 3 events of that day that it just all led up to the um, and I guess I could look up the scripture, but it was when when the woman grabbed his robe and um, he said, "Stand up, by your faith you're healed. Stand up, woman," or something like that. By your faith
Yeah.
you are healed.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I needed that. Even though I was healing and I knew I was getting better, it was still um, I had a, I'm still healing, so I knew I still had a long way to go, and
Right. You're
so
still healing.
that's
Yeah. Totally.
and
Yep.
so that's how I know that every so often it's like for me, um, I'm a very visual person with um, and I'm a affectionate person, touchy feely, and a lot of people don't like to be touched, but um, I'm just that's just the way I am, and so maybe that's how I have to receive a message like that is more of a visual. I have a drawing that I did of one of them whenever I couldn't even see well enough to draw it. It looks like a 3-year-old drew it, but it was it I wanted to draw it so I would never forget it. I will never forget it. It's still very vivid in my mind right now, but um even if my kids find it one day, they're going to understand it. They're going to understand the process because I did it in 4 squares so that they would see each step of what I was seeing. And it was, I can't deny it. There's just no way. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
what you were saying about you've seen people who have passed, and um, I haven't actually seen someone do that, but I've seen them before, and they have told me the things that they were seeing right before. So the stories are so similar. There's no denying it. Just like you said, there's no way to deny it.
Right. You couldn't
I've
convince them
seen,
otherwise. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes. My aunt and uncle were in uh I think it was the Philippines somewhere that and they were ministering to people, and like you said, people all over the world. It's like um all this all my life I kept feeling this pull, and that's why I've been to so many different churches, because I would go with friends, or my first husband was Catholic and my second husband was Lutheran, and
Tried them all,
so
huh? Yeah.
and yeah, that's what the first husband.
Hey,
I
you
did the whole
know,
thing to become a Catholic. Took the
if at first you don't
classes. I taught
succeed,
CDC.
try
It was
again, they
just
say.
the whole thing, and that's um. So I know that other people have felt that pull, and
Yeah.
even in the forests of Timbuktu, wherever, you know that they know something greater than them has provided. They're provided their food, they're provided their water, they're provided their their existence. When you see the birth of a child, how can you
Mhm.
not
Right. Yeah,
know
Camo Carl, you
something?
damn well will make an exception for hugging us. You got that right, buddy. You know that's right. He knows that's right.
Well, yeah, Al, I have to like you if I like you. True. I mean, it's not. I just don't go hugging anybody, but um, but there's a lot of people that I would hug. I miss Peppy too, Echo. Haven't seen him in a minute. I hope that he's doing well.
Yeah, God is definitely moving here in Humboldt County, Brew. We've had a missionary that was a captive. Talk about persecution. We had a man here that was one of our very own from our little town, McKinleyville, and he was just featured on Telios. They shared his wife and him his story about the work they were doing there, why he got captured in Niger. But yeah, it's very real. I mean, the Fox's Book of Martyr is the first one I was ever familiar with. I mean, you have a read about a lot of martyrs in that book. And then DC Talk had come out with a book. And at the back of the book, it showed all the countries, and it had a little chart for telling you their hostility level for Christians. And, I mean, being the highest hostility being they'll kill you. And it's still very real around the world in certain places, of course. And then I also think that through COVID, there are a lot of people that, don't forget all of our names that are in the book of life. I mean, we all have a lot of stories, and God is writing our story. I believe that we're living out our stories. So finish well, because that was a heinous 3.5 years, and it was dehumanizing. And if you stood strong in it, how would your story sound like if it was being read out? Because I can't help but think about where we're at right now. Like, and in those days, the people could have read the Bible and known what God wanted of them, and they could have read the Constitution and the laws of their count, and they could have assembled with just 13 people by being on a phone call, a couple times a week to be in that meeting. It's not hard. It's not necessarily going down to city council and raising Cain. That's what I think a lot of people thought in the beginning, and people did get targeted. Look, we saw Mama T get targeted. Remember all that junk she went through?
Yes.
That was not no ringing endorsement for everybody to want to run down to their city council and go attack their mayor. Yeah, so then you can have CPS up your ass and 9 sheriffs on your doorstep. I mean, really, that was quite scary, but she did it.
Why 9 sheriffs? There's only one sheriff per county.
Sheriff deputies, whatever. They were sheriff deputies.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
But still, it's like, why even that many? Trying to take her kids from her because she went up against the county and their water nonsense. They are not going to stop America until you engage. They're going to start taxing us for our air we breathe. They already got people to stop.
Broken Patriot crazy. William. Sorry. Had to say hello.
It's okay. I'm just ranting. Stop me. Help me.
No, you're fine. And I see the passion in what you're doing there, in trying to learn it all too. I'm trying to learn also, but I'm trying to learn too much. I'm trying to learn all the way around, because I keep on about the right now and moving forward. What's happened in the past happened. We can't change it. It's done. But what we can change is the future. And so, as they're written, would we be able to use those documents still in the future? And then it's kind of like, what kind of future is there going to be? And
What
it can get
documents? The
overwhelming.
affidavits or the
No,
notices?
no. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. The documents that are supposed to be our guide through all of this. Okay, Tomcats, thank you so much for coming by.
Well, how do you think that Weinstein, Epstein, Maxwell, and Sam Bankman-Fried have been arrested and put behind bars? The court system will work, but the problem is people, when they get a bad judge, they are afraid in some cases and they don't go all the way. It was
Or they
exposure.
do, and they end up,
Only
if it's a
sometimes,
bad judge, you're
Bonnie.
going
Only sometimes they end up dead, unalived. Not
oh, well,
every
I didn't
time.
mean that.
Oh.
I meant in jail for a long
Sorry.
time.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't mean
Well, we were talking about martyrs here. There were martyrs during
okay.
COVID. There were martyrs during COVID.
So do you think we should be martyrs? Yes,
Huh?
every church closed.
No,
Almost
my
every
church didn't
church
close.
closed.
My church didn't close.
Mine didn't either.
Calvary chapels didn't close. Most Calvary chapels did not close. But
Our churches did not close.
churches are a mess right now anyway. And there's another place that would be a good place to assemble and try to get together with like-minded people and be around people that are God-fearing and God-loving. And, you know, we can't get past that either. A lot of people don't want to, you know, go to church either. And not, you know, even I don't preach church, but I love Jesus. Also assemble.
You think politics go together?
Huh?
Do you think church and politics go
Yes,
together?
absolutely. Who's supposed to rebuke the oppressor? It says rebuke the oppressor. Whose job is it? Whose job is it to go and deal with the pedophile? You know?
Yes.
And
I
thank
agree,
God Jesus
but
tells us better a millstone were tied around that person's neck. You know, that's a good indicator as to how this God, in this only time we're ever really encouraged to do, we're not encouraged to be violent. It's just an analogy. It's just saying it'd be better off if that person was just dumped in the sea. What?
Hey, Cheryl. I
It's
was
not
telling
telling us to
Stephanie
do it.
good night.
Good night, Stephanie. Love you, honey.
Thank you for coming in, hon. I know you're keep healing. Gonna keep holding you in prayer.
Yeah, would you please stay out of the damn ER, woman? Crying out loud. Tired of worrying
So
about
do you
her.
think we're supposed to be martyrs? Is that our role, to be a martyr?
Could be.
I'm not
Could be.
really
Might be mine.
that.
Might be mine. Might not be your all's, but it might be mine. I don't know. I'm not.
It's not something I mean, okay, I've been called that because of family, but as far as life, a matter of life and death, I'm not real sure about that. God hasn't led me to that point.
Well,
LLCEC, good to see you. True.
Was D-Dog in here? Hello,
Yes,
D-Dog. Oh.
I
Mhm.
believe that too. No denominations. Every building should be for Christ.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I've been to the Church of Christ too.
There's a lot of should be's right now, but man, churches can't even get on the same page.
Exactly. And why is that? Because you have a preacher who's giving a sermon that he's written for his message of the day. Just like me sitting here doing this is my message of the day. But at the same time, I'm willing to listen to all views and opinions, and where um, a lot of preachers are not.
Well, that's what intimate Bible studies are for. But
Yes,
um, churches do
there you
have to
go,
protect
brothers.
people. My pastor will get people passing through and ask him if they can do a sermon on Sunday. I mean, it's a trip. People think things are just a network. You know, groups are a network. Church is a opportunity to market their stuff. You know, people think that way about businesses too. They think they can just go at people's employees and invite them to just do all kinds of stuff, you know. They'll poach employees from you. It's weird. But I forgot
Yeah,
what
he
you're
had to
talking
go
about.
change his plan.
Mm.
I think the last thing I asked you is, do you think we're supposed to be martyrs? And then you,
Well, there's gonna be some.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
sure.
I hope not, but I mean, it's not looking good right now. It's not looking good, you
Revival.
know. I'd hoped people would stand up. I do think we outnumber them in numbers. They have bigger microphones, bigger megaphones, TVs, the media, Hollywood, sports, and most people are still eating their poison. So what do you do?
But okay, wait a minute. I'll get on that. Aniat Jack, what is your question? Um, so sports, the original meaning concept of sports is competition, right? A good, healthy competition
Mm-hmm.
is good.
Mm-hmm. And physical exercise is
It's
good.
yes. The teamwork. Look at how they work as a team. Are we doing that? I mean, when you can get that many men together to go for that same goal, and they're
Well,
willing to hurt and bruised and knocked out and whatever to reach it,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah. Well, you do have
teamwork.
look at the Patriot movement. People are willing to be a part of it, particularly if they can get in front of the camera and get some recognition, right? I really like that. And if they can get a My
Um,
Pillow freaking promo code, well, by golly, they've
Not
arrived
me.
and they've made it. You know, seriously. I mean, we're
In
disgusting.
some, I think yes, I've seen that, but that's not us. You and I are not that way. It's not about that.
No, not you or I. But I mean, look at all the Patriot. You talk about sports and you're like making a great point. It's teamwork, it's teamwork. They're all being paid. If we had a big fat budget like these damn Democrats do that use our freaking money to be weaponized against
No.
us? When we pay people to do what they do, they pay these idiots to do everything they do. People want, they either are willing to do the right thing because they have integrity, or you can only get some people to do the right thing because you're paying them enough money. Otherwise, the evil is always paying more. Evil's always paying more. Crime pays well. Underground stuff, I mean, and the government's the best one going, the best organized crime there is right now. That's the best gig going. Correctional officers, all these people. I mean, you do need to lock some people up, but damn, I was watching Joe Biden's history and how much private prisons have increased since he ran some deals, and particular one, I know it's been talked about a lot. It's when Clinton was president, I think. This whole criminal enterprise is sick. It's all a slave system, and people comply with it willingly because they're ignorant. They don't even want to learn. Like, it's that hard to really learn? Is it that hard to read? Is it that hard to watch some videos on our real laws so we can actually know what the frick is going on? No one is going to really spell it out for you, No one spelled it out for me.
True.
No one holds our hand.
Look how many prisons were empty because of COVID. Mental health facilities. So all these people are just roaming around, still committing crimes. And if you're talking about the groups that have been paid by our tax money somehow, some way, then yeah, that's it shouldn't be for money. For patriots to get together.
Well, I mean,
it should be just.
I know it should be, but nothing's as it should be. Hi, John Dunning. Good to see you, honey.
Aniat Jack, that was a yes. Carrie's Musings, good to see you. And thank you. William, did I say hello to you? I don't think I did.
There's a William in the house?
William Kramer?
Oh, he always says that was a damn good show, doesn't he?
Yes, that's William.
Yep. I know him.
Yeah. I have some good people here.
The best.
Did you get on your roof today?
No.
Oh, that's what I understood. And I was like, and I never saw you go live. And I thought, I hope she is okay and she didn't fall off the roof.
Oh, good. Yeah, I did roof work today, guys. And then I blamed one of my guys that was here, and it turned out he didn't do it. My husband did that dirty deed. He forgot to screw the flashing down. I don't know what he was thinking. He took all the flashing down. I think they replaced the board behind it. Those boards dry rot and stuff. So south facing, wind was blowing it. I woke up this morning, I could hear it banging. I'm like, oh my gosh. I had to get this super huge ladder out, but the Coast Guard rode by, and I saluted them. They saw me out there. It was nice to know somebody saw me working hard in the rain, You just want to be seen sometimes.
You're up there. I can do it. Like the
I'm like,
little train that.
if I fall down, they got me, I'm not ready for winter. Boo. It's been cold and rainy for days. How about where you're at? We haven't seen snow yet, though. Anybody see snow yet?
I haven't. I know that Echo did about a
Yeah.
month ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
Seems
Yeah, we
like
used to see it
so. Boy,
on Halloween
Carl,
sometimes.
my dad,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not ready for snow. We've
I
hit freezing
know.
a couple of times, and I saw on the forecast we're going to have freezing a couple of nights in the next 7 days. But
Yeah, that's lame. My squash garden's dead. Ain't nothing else coming out of that thing, that's for sure. Been way too cold and it's just done. So, but I'm ready to plant. I'm going to plant potatoes, ginger, garlic, onions. I think some kale and chard, maybe. Or I don't think I like chard. Is that the one that tastes like soap? I don't know how to make. I
who
think.
isn't good?
No, I think I. What is it? Hmm.
This one that's up here, the
Mm.
stew is a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Heart
That's right.
divisive, wicked imaginations, feet that beat
Mm-hmm.
swift, mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies.
Yep. There's a lot of liars on YouTube, isn't there? Oh, you want to talk about persecution? Let's go. I got some stories. No, just kidding.
Still a few inches on the ground, she said.
Just ignore me, Bonnie.
You're good.
Mm-hmm.
My inbox. Thank you, Antioch Jack. I will close with that song.
Mm-hmm. You're used to the cold. Oh, honey, don't make me feel so sorry for you.
I'm not.
You're probably happy now, aren't you, Al? Aren't you happy now, Al? Nice
I'll
quiet
admit it.
house, no continual dripping. You know.
But you know what?
Hmm.
No.
Oh, he
Go
might
back to
be.
Genesis.
He probably had horrible women in his life. I mean, people are a
God
damn mess,
didn't
Bonnie.
create man to be alone. And I just, but the odds are, the odds in society are what has caused all of this. They did it on purpose. The division of the
Oh,
family
sure.
unit,
Yeah.
the, the, the what do you call it? Whenever you, the belittling of men. And
Mm-hmm. Demasculating. Mm-hmm.
yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Weakening of it. Look, they're wearing high heels. I
yes,
mean, come on.
years ago, whenever I first started this, I was like, where are the real men? And I'm I'm not talking, I'm not saying that y'all are not real men. I'm just saying that around me, it's okay. I see them. They're all married. They're ranching. They're farming. They're working their butts off, and so they're not on YouTube. But um, not that they don't watch things on YouTube. I have no clue. I haven't really asked
Mm-hmm.
them that. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that creep out of Austin every so often and um, get their feelings hurt over the least little things or can't handle um, emotional women. We're, we're emotional. We turn into a basket case every so often. We
What?
take it
No.
seriously.
No. Never.
we we um
What's
when
your point?
I'm just
So
saying,
what's your point, lady?
where's the men that can handle that?
Right.
Those the women with those emotions, and
Mm,
where's the women who feel that that man deserves more, so we try harder to be the good wife or the good mate, the good to make his castle better. It goes both ways. I mean, it takes work, but I have seen where one or the other will turn to Christ, and I have seen that marriage fail because of it, because the other one is not willing to do that. And so they don't understand it. And I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know if it's um, just wimps. I don't know. I don't know why it happens that way.
well, it depends how the woman is also. I've seen it where a woman was a Christian all her marriage and the man wasn't until the very end of her life. Um, and then he was, you know. My husband's grandmother lived with
John,
her husband was a alcoholic and was beating on her, and so she separated from him, legally separated from him for 16
see,
years.
and
When
I,
he got cancer, she took him back in and took care of him till he died. She never married anybody
yeah,
else, or so that's in people too.
I've heard
There's
of that
both.
too. Yes.
Yeah, it just depends. Some people are more loyal than others. Some people don't want to try that again. They don't want to go down that road again where it didn't
I
work. I don't know.
understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen both sides of it. I've seen men mistreated in really bad ways. Not
Here's
seen,
the
but
here's
know
the thing
of.
that a lot of men feel this is, and I see it too, men and women. We see the government has a lot of women go to the government for their help for their kids, because if baby daddy isn't stepping up, and then the government forces the men to pay the child support. I've seen women have to pay child support. I've seen women that are working and the men are not even working and they have to pay the child. They don't care who it is. Whoever's working, they're going to get that child support and siphon some of it off, And so I would just say this is the best advice I can say for having been married for 28 years to my husband.
Yes, Carrie.
I would have never, my husband was, his dad had mental illness issues, bipolar and stuff. And there was a couple times when, he didn't want me to leave when we're arguing. And he's sitting there and he's being very toxic, yelling shit at me. He's going to be sorry later. So why are we doing this to each other? This is shit we went to counseling for, because he didn't want to let me go. So one time I called the cops on him because he's put the air out of my tire of my car, and
Oh wow.
so now looking back, and my advice: never ever call the police on your spouse ever. I mean, unless they're beating you or something. And he's never laid a hand on me. He wouldn't do that, but he didn't want to let me leave. And he's gone. He's been where by definition probably could have had him in trouble at one time or another. Don't do that. Women look to the government to protect them. They look to them to get their money. They're not looking to God. Now here's the question. Should they have to be? Should they have to be dependent on men or the government? Period. No, we're
Isn't the
not.
man supposed to be the provider
Yeah, but what if they're
spiritually?
not? What if they're not? And then women ends up going to the government for every little thing. All the aid, all the help has been, that's where we're at with our country. Women have gone to the government and said, yeah, I don't have to put up with you. But I'm torn with
But
that
if
because
they're
it's like they shouldn't have to put up with bullshit either. They shouldn't have to put up with abuse or, you know,
no, not
so
from
it's,
anybody.
but the problem is this private sector is not there to help our women or men. Some men are abused too. They're cheated on
The
and
village, yes.
used up all the time.
That
They end up
saying,
taking
it
half their
takes a
shit.
village.
Hmm?
Yeah, that saying, it takes a village. And so, okay, in that situation, say um,
Camo.
some of our men here, a man is a friend of yours and or a neighbor, and you know that he's beating his wife. Are you going to step up and do something? Or are you going to just let it happen?
Me?
And I think that's where, no.
Oh.
And I think that's where it's come down to, though, is everybody's so busy minding their own business and
Mhm.
not wanting to get involved. You know, even the police don't want to go to a domestic call because 9 times out of 10,
Mhm.
whoever made the call is not going to press charges because they love that person. They really do.
Right.
They just don't want what's happening. They want whatever is happening to stop. And so
Right.
that's where, I think that it does take other people stepping in, but not the law. Maybe
Mhm.
somebody who's close with the family or someone that this person
Mhm.
will is,
That's it.
or
Call a friend. Don't involve the
or
government.
if he,
Don't involve the
right, if he
police.
just needs a good punch in the face to stop it, you know,
I mean, in
it's
my case, nothing happened. The cops just told my husband, yeah, you can't do this
yes,
because by the time they got here, we were cooled down anyway. He was just stunned. And it's just dumb, but I didn't know a lot of the things that I know now, how much I depended on dumb government or, it's just yeah, we're not, our private sector is not, we've let everything go to programs and government funded programs at that. You know what I mean? We don't really, we have
yes,
to step up because there's a lot of victims out there. I'm seeing them now here in Humboldt County as well. And Humboldt County is very predatorial right now. And so there's a lot of people that are, you all you have to do is look on the booked uh, sheet of, in the paper. The crimes are more violent, they're more frequent, they're raped, they're roofies. There's people up here got a lot of roofies. Somebody's, they're roofing the shit out of girls. It's happening
I
left and
know,
right, and it's going to happen more and more everywhere until we stop it. That's the frustration. It's like
yes.
this evil's not ever, it's not just going to take itself away. It's multiplying. It's
I have
multiplying.
seen people from other countries coming in here and saying on TV they are here
Mhm.
to um what do you call it? Outbreed us. That's it.
Mm.
So
That
how are
doesn't
they going to
sound
do
good.
that? Yes, because the women are not going to be willing. So there you go. They've already admitted that's what they're here for. One of the things they're here for. And so I think that there's going to be a whole lot more of women victims.
Well, sure. And look at all this drag show shit they're doing at the schools. I mean, when I was a kid,
Yes,
even strangers would, if they weren't perverts, we all knew the line and we would never let a stranger, at a child crossing the boundaries, unless you're a freaking pervert. These people are out of their minds with this craziness.
yes, Yes, it has. It's gone way too far. There can be extremists in everything in life. Everything. You can take it to the extreme, and it should never get to the point of the extreme. Should it? I don't
No,
think
it
so.
should. No, it definitely shouldn't get to a point of extreme. That's what the law is supposed to protect us for. That's what's driving me crazy about this whole persecution thing in this country. The
Yeah,
law
rather
was
than
supposed to protect us. It doesn't matter what God you believe in. It's not even about. I mean, yeah, the Christians are
yes,
getting persecuted when you zoom out and look around the world, but in America, yes, COVID did persecute. For me as a Christian, I know my breath of life comes from God, and I'm not to conceal my identity. And these things they were asking people to do were satanic, ritualistic in nature, and they were evil. And they make children vulnerable, and they make criminals more emboldened. And we see that, and now they're passing laws in Pennsylvania. You can't wear a ski mask, and it's a big controversy. There already was an extra charge. There's already an extra charge if you are concealing your identity when you commit a crime. The masks were always unlawful. We allowed it to happen. You know what we were asked to do? We were asked to hold the line. That's all they asked us to do. Hold the
yep,
freaking line. And people couldn't even
that's
do
it.
that. Jeez. I get
Criminals
frustrated.
don't obey the law.
Hold the line. What does that
That's
mean?
it.
Don't let them take any more from you or your children. They've taken enough.
Yes. And Echo and Carl, that I that just makes me sad. That would be their last day. Solitude beats. No, no. I'm sorry, I can't agree with that.
I have to keep going back and forth. I got to switch I'm on my little phone. I got to get on my computer. I was going to switch when you did the intro and I never did. What am I at?
Oh,
13%, 11% on my phone. Yeah, it's going to happen. Yeah, it's happening. All right.
absolutely, Brew. And it didn't even have to be the man and woman. It's the kids and the parents or whatever. It's um, just listening to my kids. I can tell where society has played such a role in their lives. I raised 6 kids, all the same. Didn't No one had special privileges. 3 girls, 3 boys. Had nothing to do with whether they were a girl or a boy. They were all treated the same. And um, I have 6 very different children. And some of it's not drastically different. Some are. It's just what what they've gone through in life or what they have believed from what other people have convinced them of.
Right.
It's what the TV has convinced them of. What um,
It's their God given personality. You could have
it's just
twins.
everything.
You know,
Yes,
they could
and
grow up in this. Yeah.
when I
Isn't it
talk to them
amazing?
about God,
Six. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry,
because
honey.
they were there. They were there when all the bad stuff happened. And so they saw that and they know the
Mm-hmm.
hypocrisy. And so they were
Mm-hmm.
there. So now when I
Right.
talk to them about God, they automatically associate it with church and they're like, no,
Mm.
I'm not going to church. And I'm like,
Right.
I am not telling you to go to church. I am telling you to build a relationship with God on your own, you
Mm-hmm.
personally, not
Mm-hmm.
you
The
have to
best
go to
thing,
church.
Bonnie, the best thing you can do And sometimes I forget this myself, and I don't do this enough. I can't remember the last time I sent my kid a Bible verse, but to just encourage them with verses about, how their hairs on their heads are numbered, how God holds our tears in a jar, like when they're
It's
hurting,
true.
when they're angry, verses on being angry, verses on, it's like whatever they're going through, there's always a good word to be sent. And I forget a lot. And if I know my kids are hurting, I will definitely try to send them, or just a message. I'm praying for you. The best we can do is be that example. Yeah, whatever the hypocrisy is there, there's only two kinds of hypocrites: the one that'll admit they are one, and one that will not. So, it's how you are today to your kids, and how you've been
Yes.
there through their lives as they were growing up. All that just adds up.
And that's it. They're
Mhm.
grown, and
Mhm.
but if something's wrong, really wrong, where do they come? To mama.
To
And
mama. They come to mama every
yeah,
time.
and
Mama.
I want it that way, unless it's something that I can't. I started to say fix. You can't fix
Mhm.
somebody. Um, and if it's gonna be destructive to me or anyone else in the home, then that's where I kind of have to, okay, this isn't working. This can't be allowed. Now, what are we going to do about it? You know?
Right. I mean, that's why you sure don't want to let anybody move in with you anytime soon.
Well, I did.
You do?
I said I did, but
Oh.
um,
Hmm. Right.
excuse me. And they keep bringing all this crud home, the
All the
coughing
what?
crud, all all this crud home, the coughing crud, not cruddy
Oh, yeah.
people.
Hmm.
They don't bring anyone.
Different kinds of men every night coming in and out
No,
of
no, no, no,
Bonnie's house. I'm just
no, no,
kidding.
no, no.
Just kidding, kids. Just kidding. Mhm. Yeah. Well, women and men, I see them as a mess. My friend, Carolina, her husband had a massive heart attack recently, and he was revived by a coworker, and they got an ambulance, and he was revived and shocked 7 times in the ambulance. And now he has a defibrillator inside his body that can shock him back. And
Yes,
she was talking to me about his heart, and I'm like, man, my friend Jenny, she got pacemaker. I know Mama T has congenital heart failure. um I'm like, what is going on? Is this anything more than just, and she said she was thinking about it, and the verse that came to her mind was, in the last days the hearts of men will fail them for the things they see that are coming to earth, that are coming on this earth, and it's like, it kind of seems like it's not, when it says man, a lot of times it means woman too. So hearts,
oh, yeah,
men's hearts, women's hearts, our hearts are failing us, because this has been awful for me the last 3.5 years. I can't imagine growing up in this climate as a kid, you know.
it says that in the Bible. Many hearts will not be able to handle it.
Hmm. And that's why that's where I
And
think we're at. And it's hard enough for people to to be together without all this stuff going on. But I mean, my guy and I, we've already figured out. We've already been, we were together for 6 years when we were really young. He's my first guy. I was 15 when I met my husband. We dated 6 years, broke up for 2 years, and I did not think we were ever going to get married. Honestly, I did not. But we both
Yeah.
found Jesus, and it was a big, big turnaround for us. And so God's always been first in our marriage, and that's the way it has to be. But it was a big risk. He was a big risk, and I was a big risk for him too, because we did have some baggage, but we do know grace, and that's a must. We have to have grace for each other, especially patriots. I've definitely had my share of disappointments. I've had people that I've fought with in this movement, stood side by side with and helped, and they just ghosted me, just ghosted me, and
Yeah.
it's like, how is that united we stand, divided we fall? Because what? Because I don't want to make money. I don't want to make money on the patriot movement, because
But
I
it's
think we can all volunteer a little bit of time. It's not it's watching these people get on, and then they get the microphone, and then they get to buy me a coffee, and the coffee, and the all of it, and that's you can't talk about that with
yeah.
some people, because they get upset that you're pointing out that it's a money thing. Well, it will change you. It's you're not a community messenger
It
now. You're
was.
putting on a show. You're putting on a show. It's different. I don't want to put on a show. I want to be a community messenger. I want to be a
Yes.
citizen, just boots on the ground, not even call myself a reporter, big mouth with his cell phone. How about that? Does that work? I'd watch that, you know. Hey, Peanut.
And that's, I don't know. Um, I mean, when I first started, there was like five of us, and usually we were all on the panel together, just talking. And more people started coming in, and it was it was like it was kind of overwhelming to me. I'm um, I get stage fright if you're going to call it a show.
Right.
It I think it's stage fright.
Yeah.
Before
Right.
you go
Right.
live, you're like trying to calm down and get your thoughts together because one little comment can take my mind right off of what I was thinking, as y'all all know. And
Hmm.
so um, then um, I've had some people on panel that were amazing conversationalists like you, and it it just makes it easier to talk things out. And that's one of my goals, is to be able to talk things out, even with chat. That's why I'll ask chat questions, because I want to see what is their thoughts on things also. The
You have a
chat
great chat. You have a great
is,
chat. I
yes,
love your
and
chat.
that they are, we'd be nothing without them. We'd be just sitting here talking by ourselves, which is fine too, but at the same time, they're people, and I don't want to discount them or discredit them in any way. And so then it was like, because I wanted to quit, it was, um, I was like, gosh, this is every night. And then I started having to take care of my granddaughter daily and teach her.
This is every night.
And
Every night. Every
yes.
night,
And
people.
so I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this all the time like I have been. But still at the same time I keep feeling this push. And I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like this push, go live, go live. And even when I don't feel like it, somebody's telling me, go live, go live. And it's all ah.
Right.
And so then they'll ask me, well, are you going to have a topic or what's it going to be about? And I'm like, oh, I don't have any clue. But then I'll hear something that went on, and just like I said, watching the movie, hearing the the massacre in Africa, whatever you want to call it, and it was just like everything just fell into place. That okay, this is what I'm going to do tonight. Next one, I have no clue.
Right, right.
I am working on having a guest that everyone I hope will show up and have questions and say what you want to say. Um, Most would call him the enemy. And so I think it would be pretty interesting because, um, yeah, it'll just be a
The
surprise.
enemy. Okay. Well, you know what? I was just sitting here thinking, oh, too bad it'd be really nice if Sean listens to this later, or if he's listening now. He's probably sleeping. He works at night shift. I think he works at midnight, but he may listen to it later when he's at work. Hi, Sean. um, it'd be it'd be really nice if you could have interview Destry, because I tried to listen to the interview back, and I didn't really treat it like an interview. Like, we were just going to talk about the assembly, and there was I was having interference for the couple days that happened. There was this clicking sound that I kept
Hmm.
getting, and I thought it was a fun interview. Like, I enjoyed him, but I think, you've been on those calls, and for me,
Oh,
for
I would love
everything,
to interview him
huh?
because I would love to interview him
For
because I
everything I've ever done, all the streams I've ever had, that was to me one of the most important ones I've ever felt like I did, to be honest with you,
see
And
I'm
yeah,
more questionable than you are, and because I'm I'm not taking anything absolute
you're more
like
what than I am. I didn't hear what you said.
questioning.
Questioning. Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
always have
I
questions.
did my questions, like I was already involved with the Anna von Reitz thing. No, I did. I was researched a lot of groups before I found that one. That's not the first one I've ever, you know what I mean? But I just don't do my
Yeah.
questioning now, but I've done my questioning with them, and not
Oh, I
like with
still have
Sean.
questions.
Yeah, well, of
They
course I have
never stop.
questions too. Everybody on that dang call has questions, don't they? They're all just like, we're all just trying to figure it out.
And
They
that's
want the
I love
template.
listening to the question and the
Yeah,
Q&A
me too.
because
That's my favorite part. Yeah.
yes, because I want to
Mm-hmm.
see that's where you learn more to me
Yeah.
is by asking questions and then listening to their answers and saying, but what if, or how's this going to work? Or it just gives you a chance to, it, it, I mean, knowledge is the key to everything, right?
Right.
And you're not going to get that knowledge unless you listen and
Mm-hmm.
ask questions if you don't understand. You're, and even then, is it going to be complete clarity, complete understanding? I feel like there's
No.
always going to be questions. I've
Yeah.
seen people say it even, with all the research that's been done. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well,
Yeah.
the Bible was written by a man, so there could be a mistake. I'm not taking that chance. I'm not taking the chance of thinking um, the Word of God that I have grown up with, lived on, is a mistake. It is what it is, and
Right. Right.
so I think there's even a scripture about that, taken away or adding to, and
It
so
definitely
it's like
is. Yeah. For sure.
And could it have been written by evil people? Who knows? I don't know. I doubt it, but you never know. But even still, I'm still going to go by the word. The Ten Commandments, I don't think that those were written by an evil person. Those are good, solid rules to go by. Laws, whatever you want to call them. I call them rules. And just um, the love of God to send in his son, knowing he would be crucified, but still getting the message out before then. And I just, nope. It's just there.
All right,
Hey,
you gotta
David,
let me in because my phone's gonna die. So I'm gonna come in
is
the back
Ronnie
room here in a second. I'll be right there.
okay?
It's me. It's
Yep,
really,
that was
really
quick.
me. Oh, what's on my hat?
Are you talking?
Oh, yeah. Can you not hear me?
You're echoing.
Oh, but of course, darling. There we go. Let me put my younger me. Oh, that's not my younger me.
Yes.
Darn it. I need a better avatar. I'm sorry. What were you saying, sweetie? I was listening. I just was gonna lose you. My phone's gonna die any second. You were talking
That was
about
done.
the Bible.
It was just,
Talking about the Bible. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I
Yes.
haven't studied it as much as people I have followed that have studied a lot. I've studied a lot too, but there's prophecy, there's
Well, I
numerology,
haven't,
but
yes.
people
And
have.
I haven't known that.
Studied. But people have
I can't just say, 2 Corinthians 2 in a scripture. And um, I can't do that. I can, oh yeah. So I think something like this is in the Bible, and I don't get it exact unless I go to it and look for the scriptures. But um, that doesn't take away its value or its meaning
You're
just
probably going to
because
hell. Probably going to hell because you don't have it.
because I
You
can't
can't
memorize.
memorize it,
No.
and it sucks for you. But I'll wave to you wherever you
Okay. Well, I'll just be that one with my arm up. Grab it as you're going up.
are. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it doesn't matter. I think that it doesn't matter. I don't know everywhere it is either. I think that memorizing scripture is very powerful, though. I've seen people that,
It is.
yeah, my husband's seen a guy recite the whole book of
But I think there's
Ephesians.
people.
It'll
I
change
think
your
there are
life.
people who can do that.
Yeah.
And it may have more power in their life. With me, it's more of a spiritual thing. It's the things that it's that channel that I just I can't explain it to people. And I know a lot of people have never experienced it. So that's why it would be really hard to explain. But still, our beliefs are the same. It's still a structure, a foundation for us to follow. It's still,
It's still good.
it still sits in my house.
There are some people that don't believe it in their heart that that's the God and stuff, but they believe in the
How about
righteousness of the Ten Commandments, and Even just the 2 commandments that Christ took it down to. Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body, and love your neighbor as yourself. All the other laws fall under those too. You can't screw it up, people. Right? You can hardly screw it up. I mean, Christ did the hard work, that we have the power to overcome sin.
Uh-oh.
You know,
What'd I do?
Are we losing you? Don't leave me, lady.
I'm trying not to.
Is your internet getting wonky? Donkey? What movie am
No,
I?
I was trying to.
Donkey?
I was
No, sorry.
quick. I was trying to answer Pebble.
Yes.
I don't know how to do a pre-recording.
I wouldn't watch a pre-record. Well, you know, there's a lot of pre-record.
Really?
This is live TV, baby. Yeah. I want something to happen. The big one could happen. I'm in California. I mean, these guys know. Like, whenever they're watching me, they're like, oh, it's D. You know, the big one could happen. And you guys could see the whole house shake violently and fall into the ocean. I could be riding a wave on the... You never know. It's just, you never know. Who knows? None of us know who's going to make it till the longest or who's going to be next. I just had a friend pass away. He was...
Or if we want to make it. To me, I think the ones that have passed are the lucky ones. And I know that sounds really kind of but
did you want to be invited? I don't know how to take that comment. The perfect live broadcast where you don't invite anyone else. Did you want an invitation? We just don't want any perverts coming backstage. I had a guy come backstage one time. He was doing the nasty. I know who it was. Got your picture too, sucker.
Pebbles, I have different guests. Sometimes it's depending on the message, who I think would be a good fit for that message. And
it's not always me, obnoxious me.
No, it's not always D. And not because, and I don't ever want anyone to feel shunned or like, oh, I wasn't good enough to go up on the panel tonight. It's just, it is what it is.
I saw Indy did a men's night last night. I was watching for a little bit. That was cool.
Yeah. Typical
night. Baggy, you know what's on stage? No, just kidding. Love you guys. I love you guys. You know I love men.
Absolutely. I was kind of hoping that there would be more questioning the men, but it's in the show, and she did a good job.
You got some questions for men? Where are the men? Yeah, I watched Indy. I was watching a little bit. I should have commented. I was watching on my TV.
I was in there.
Becky, and I didn't really have anything to say. I don't remember what they were talking about for a little bit, but you had a full panel.
Oh, and guess what?
Full bag of Richards. What?
Did you see Huckleberry has a voice?
No, I missed that. Oh my gosh. Bitch in the house. Woo-wee. Good to see you, Mr. Eric.
He didn't sing. He just talked. But it was okay. Yeah.
I'm her Huckleberry. He said, I'm her Huckleberry. Huh.
But I like to hear the discussions. I'm more about discussions and what's going on. And
Yeah.
What do you think? And
Yeah.
stuff like
She has
that.
people from all over states too, lots of different states. And I like that too as well. Those are the
Yes.
people. When the shit goes down, it is panels like Indies that I'll be looking to for my information. And I hope you look at mine and Bonnie's as well, because we're the people that have the boots on the ground and talk to real people. I'm not believing anything these yahoos are telling us anymore. Bunch of bullshit.
Right. And Carl, I agree. Didn't.
Still can't believe Armor
I'm
around.
sure
What
you
do you think they were a bot?
did.
Armor Huckleberry, are you around? Is your ears burning? Did you just
Hey,
arrive?
Bruce. Good to see you.
Hey, Bruce
And
Wonky.
Indy, you always put on an amazing show,
Yeah, she's
no matter
always.
what you do. I was just, I was just saying that I would like to have heard more
Mhm.
questions of the
More
men.
Jones next time, Indy. You see
But
this
that's all
here?
I know.
You see this microphone here, Indy? We want you to sit like this. So, Rescue, tell us about yourself. Where did you live before you moved to where you live now? Like that.
Right.
Actually, we don't want people to be like, just like
We're the journalists.
the regular media anyway. I mean, we really don't, because that's what a lot of them are trying to do too, is be just like those people that have been lying to us forever and ever
Yes.
and ever. And I really just want to follow someone who's walking around down the street like this sometimes. I don't want the whole production. I want, and I'm
Right.
right here right now, and it's blah blah blah, it's going on. I mean, I did that. That's harder. In some ways it's easier, but you know what's harder about it? A lot of people will still rather watch mainstream than who's actually was on the scene. That's the thing.
Do you think, do you really think that
No, I mean, if
there's
they could
that
get,
many women?
I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
I
I
didn't.
know a few, but they're usually shut-ins and they're not going to be out doing anything anyway. And so I'm not real sure that it's as many people as we tend to think that are just stuck in mainstream. I
No,
really don't think.
yeah, I think they're reptilian crisis actor, fake, phony, sellout, lying, piece of shit scumbags. Does that help answer your question? They're just as bad as Hollywood. They're just as bad as sports people. They know what they're getting into. You sign a deal with the devil, you know. You do. They're all devil people. All of them. They've all sold out. They'll do anything that they're told to do. They're making millions. Their whole family. Look at those football players. They did a ritual in front of all of us when that guy died on the field.
Yeah.
And how many Christians still following football and the news and Hollywood and following up with the Kardashian and this actress and that singer? I could give a flying you know what about any of those people. I could care less if I saw any Hollywood actor, famous sports athlete, newscaster walking down the street. I mean, they're just too elevated in our society and our
No,
culture.
I'm not
But
what do you
there's
call it? Star crazed. I'm not that, but I
there's
still enjoy movies. I still enjoy music. I still enjoy watching sports. I still enjoy, like, at the Olympics, what do they have? They have the bobsledding races. I mean, we don't see that in Texas. So yeah, I like to watch it. Um,
okay.
my
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you
nieces,
a question? Can I ask you a question?
nieces are all in sports, basketball and soccer, and my one of my nieces is going to Italy for a marathon, and she's been to other countries playing soccer. And yes, I'm proud of that, that she can do that. She's the sportswoman. She's an amazing athlete. And she's not doing it for fame. She's not doing it for money. She's doing it because she loves it. The same with my brother. My brother was going to be in the Olympics doing downhill hill skiing. And so he was training for that. And but it was not for money, not for fame. It was the competition of it.
Well, you know I get
So
all that. You know I get all that. It's not the point though. If you watched there was a little boy, well he was a man now, but he was a young boy, went through the diving program. He was sexually assaulted.
very
A lot of these kids are sexually assaulted, and or these newscasters are like Oprah Winfrey and Weinstein, and um here's my question.
cello.
Oh, there is Armor Huckleberry. I knew you were here, Armor Huckleberry. I knew you were here. My question is this, okay? Should the origin
Okay.
and connections with Satanism matter, no matter what the group is?
Should the origins and connections of Satanism matter?
No, let me rephrase it. And connections that our culture is connected with Satanism. Maybe people don't see it, but shouldn't that matter? I think you know what I'm trying to get at. Shouldn't it matter where the roots of sports come from? The Coliseum, the domes are like Coliseums today. They're modern day, they still bash each other's heads in and get concussions and like kill themselves. It's almost like the
Do they
Coliseum.
really?
What?
Okay, when they start letting the lions out to rip people apart, we've got a problem. When they start
We have a
using
problem
swords
now. You
and
wonder why people
killing
aren't
each other.
engaged. You're funny. You're funny to me right now because you wonder why people aren't engaged. They're under a spell and they're still spending their money, attention, and worship on things that are not going to help us get out of this mess. And one
I
day,
don't think they're putting their worship into it, though. I think it's
okay, let me throw something out at you, okay? One day,
okay.
when my neighbor's house started on fire, remember when my
Yes.
neighbor's house burned to the ground? They were watching a football game. That same day, my friend's kid was at a football game and had to get led off on the ambulance of the field. What if there are invisible forces at play during these innocent things that have connections to satanic origins? Football in Soldiers Field in my hometown of Chicago in 1933, they did worship Baal there and Molech. They brought the freaking statue in there and sacrificed children right in that football stadium. They probably have done
I
it.
saw that.
They've probably done it in every single football stadium. And children are
Yes.
trafficked the most at the Super Bowl, right? So if there are ties to these things, shouldn't that matter to our?
Okay, what matters to me is I do not watch the glorifying of that. Like in the Olympics, the opening ceremony, I do not watch that anymore once I saw how it went. The half bowl, the half bowl halftime show for the Super Bowl has gotten absolutely ridiculous. I do not watch that. I can watch the game without participating in those parts that you're talking about.
Okay, well, you asked
And
me
it's like
earlier.
Indy said,
Yeah.
if we want to go that far, it's our food, our water, our medicine. It is in everything. So do we just stop? Do we stop
Putting,
living?
Just like with the movie Sound of Freedom, where they put people through ritual traumatization for a goal of microchipping children. And Tim Ballard's going to come out one dirty bird. Y'all wait and see. You're going to have egg on your face. You're going to be sorry you supported this guy, because we're not vetting. The whole point of everything, the situation that we're in, is that you can't be unscathed from a satanic ritual if they're putting you if they're putting you through it. I'm worried for the kids that are still participating in football. Yes, I do think that I don't think your children can be possessed. Okay, they
Hey,
can't be
Chrissy.
possessed if they love Jesus. No, but I do think here's what I do know is true. Demonic influence is very real, and their games are just that. They're games, and they're distraction, and they seem very innocent, and I think they're a lot more dangerous. That you wonder where our men are. They're where is their fight? Their fight is in sports. Their fight is in video games. Their fight is in what? The meta, or in sports. I mean, I just see a lot of I was never one to really poo poo on sports. I'm concerned. The day I saw my neighbor's house burned to the ground and my friend's kid got hauled off the stretcher, I thought, huh. I mean, I know they can't. I'm not saying it's just because they participated in football or anything like that, but I was like, well, that's interesting. I mean, because they would have still
It's
been.
it's a dangerous sport, just like boxing or even basketball. I mean, an elbow to the
It has
nose, it doesn't feel real good, but
it
still,
has
it's
literally satanic roots, though. Doesn't that matter? Shouldn't it matter that the people that set this whole game and enterprise up, all their numbers, all their rituals, the threes, the nines, the sixes, it's all staged. And yeah, they do bash each other's heads in. They do get very they do hurt each other. I mean, I know it's like people just still don't see it, but I think that those people are very dirty. I don't think it's as innocent as it looks. That's all. But I'll drop it. I just think it's yeah, I think you're on the
I
call.
understand. I mean, if
You're
you
on
haven't,
with the council, so I don't care what you do with your time. What I'm saying is, by being a distraction, people are they worship their team. They spend all their money on the garb. They worship the team in the stadium. They spend a lot of, some people do, and some people do it with cannabis plant. I don't worship cannabis just because I use it. I get it. Just because people want to do football, I'm not saying they all are. I'm just saying maybe we should look at the origins of it a little better and have some concerns with the satanic um, ties. That's all. You know, I don't think
I'm just saying that
anybody
it's
if
it's
watch football. I'm not. I don't really give a
I
shit.
just
Watch.
okay, we just see it totally different. I grew up playing football, basketball, kickball, whatever in the street. And so I loved it. I loved to be able to beat a guy. Pool. I love to play pool. I love it whenever I can win a tournament, a pool tournament. It's just the competition. You go to a reservation, the Native Americans, they're having competitions all the time. Who's the better shot with the archery? Who can throw a spear better? It
They
I
don't
don't
have
think
ties
it's
they don't have ties with Satanism. You're ignoring that point. You keep blowing that over like it doesn't matter that they did
because I don't see the connection.
sacrifices at Soldiers Field. Who did it? Who had control of that stadium? NFL people. Who traffics
Who
children?
was it? It wasn't the football players. I really don't think it was the football players. Who do you think it was?
It doesn't really matter to me who was in this, who had the keys on the night they sacrificed the children in the stadium. It does matter to me why they were doing it. And it does matter to me that children are trafficked the most on Super Bowl. I think it should matter to Christians more. And no, I'm not as shallow to say if you watch football, your house is going to burn to the ground. That's a high school type of thought. I pretty much said, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is on the same day that that happened, I was like, wow, football, weird, you know? Um, and does it make people more vulnerable if they're sitting in and they're putting themselves, the halftime shows have definitely been putting people under a spell. No doubt about it for me. They'll do witchcraft right on TV. So, you know, I mean, I talked to Eric. I know him and his dad like to watch football. I know people that watch football. I ain't judging people that watch football, but I'm not going to get around the fact that it has ties with Satan. You know, have you ever watched anything on the occult? People in the occult, it's like people that will defend the Sound of Freedom movie if they think it's just because they think it's good, which it's not. But I
So
don't.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you looked into, like, say, the World's Fairs or the circuses or anything like that?
Yeah.
The child trafficking is not only happening in sports. It's happening in churches. It's happening everywhere.
Right.
We've seen it everywhere. I mean, what have we heard about the Vatican? All kinds of horrors. What have we heard about the nuns? What have we heard about the altar boys? I mean, you know,
Don't you think it's weird that little girls dress up with pom poms and dance around in half naked outfits for men? I mean, the cheerleaders' outfits
okay.
cost $600. They cost $600, and the little girls know at the young age, I'm in a family that can afford this stuff, or they got to fundraise their little ass off, one or the other. And I think it's weird. I think there's just a lot of things about football, but you know, people can do what they want. I still love you. Don't be hating on me because I'm telling things I see.
I'm not hating on you. I'm asking you.
I just don't understand. I'm not saying that, you know, you got to be able to have these conversations and people not jump the gun.
Yes, and I'm trying to understand why you're so adamant about that. And I get it
Because
to
it's
an
connected to
extent.
the occult. It's connected to the occult. It should matter. I don't know why it doesn't matter. It's like, I guess the churches too, right? Everything's connected to the occult. That's what everybody thinks. So who cares?
So do we stop everything?
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
new culture. Yeah, I'd like to be new culture where kids aren't sexualized. Why are they jumping and running around with pom poms all sexual? That doesn't make sense either. What are they doing that for?
in
Oh,
well,
yeah, I just don't get it. Is it just me? I don't know. I couldn't be a cheerleader, bitches. Okay, shut up. Get off of me.
did you call me a bitch?
No, not you.
I mean, I can be, I know. But
I can be too. No, I
okay,
don't care what
Dee.
people do. I just look.
Should we
You know
change the
what?
subject?
Yes, but what can I say? One last thing about it. One last thing I want to say that I've observed with football worship.
Yes.
That okay? Thank you. When I started going to church in midnight. Practices for sports were not on Wednesday night and games weren't on Sundays. Now they all are. Sports came in and took over where a lot of kids stopped, ended up. I know because I did kids ministry, you know, and when they started doing that, I saw it. I saw the families shift from going Wednesday night church and games on Sunday. Oh, they couldn't be there, you know, they had a game. It's like you think the sports people don't know what they're doing? They're breaking up the family at every turn, and they're breaking up God too in the middle of the family. That's what they did with sports. I witnessed them do that with sports.
Yeah.
Bitches,
And I know,
hey,
I
my
know the
best friend,
Dallas
you know,
Cowboy cheerleaders, but you know what? They don't
what?
do it for money. The last I checked, I think they got $25 a game to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, and they
I know
have to work
someone who
and
was a
put
Dallas Cowboy
years off.
cheerleader. Her name was Bambi. She lives out here. No, she was Raiders. I'm sorry. She was Raiders. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't care. We'll change the subject. I just, whatever.
Okay.
I loved baseball, and I've been to Soldier Field. I've been to games. I played sports. I love sports.
I just watched that movie too, Field of Dreams. Have you seen that?
I've seen every Kevin Costner movie there is. Yes, I have.
Oh, so you can get goo-goo-eyed over Kevin Costner.
Oh yes, because he looks just like my husband. That's why. Didn't you know that?
I love you, Dee.
I love you too.
And see, we can have these discussions and disagree and still love each other. That's what it's all about. I don't even want to know what you're saying back there.
I said that's what it's all about. And Dances with Wolves. Yes, the
Oh,
one his butt. You see his buttocks in it. Kevin Costner's buttocks in Dances with Wolves. Whew, I know, William. Can you tell? I'm like flushed right now. He looks so good in that movie. He never looked better than in that movie. And he was so good with the natives. He married the native chick. Well, she really was a white girl, but great movie. Great movie. Satan has his hands in everything. Ain't that the truth?
And we have the power to bind him by the blood of Jesus Christ.
That's true.
Period.
Kiss off, I love you.
In anything.
Kiss Off is a straight shooter. Don't mess with Kiss Off. She does not. She likes to fight. She likes to fight.
Yes, she does. I've called her. I don't know how many names. I just know for sure kick ass. It just popped out.
Yeah,
She's a
sometimes you
mess.
don't know how to take those comments. I've had some people tell me, "What's with that kiss off?" I'm like, "Hey, you gotta ask her. She holds her own, right? People are people are friends with who they're friends with. Not everybody's friends with everybody. That's just the way it is. Some things never change."
That's a good one. Dee, there's a comment for you.
Well, actually, I'm trying. I've let it be known that I am definitely interested in the next. Well, if there would be say there'd be another Trump term, I might be down for being the press secretary. I think I can handle that. I'd like to. I watch Kellyanne Conway every day. I love the girl. I can't understand it for you. I can only explain it to you. I'm dying to say that to somebody one day. Like
And good to see you.
I just look at him like she'd look at him. I mean, I just love Kellyanne Conway. I thought she was like, shoo. She handed them their ass every day. It was a beautiful thing to watch. I loved it. I'm like, now this is a press conference. And Garvey, good to see you. Did you live in Humboldt before, Anne Garvey? I know an author. No, her name is it's not Anne. It's different. But
You
her
do
last
not
name.
hear that, right?
Did you fart? Yeah, we heard it. It was the
No,
big.
no. Oh, die. Bonnie show is gone forever.
uh, getting naked. Getting
What?
naked. Someone said to get naked. It's off.
Was it?
She's in the chat. She's starting it up. He'll start me up. Is Camel getting naked? He probably is naked. He's got a wood stove. He's got a fire going. And said it's cold.
Okay, Carl is a good friend. That's not a picture. No, 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 no. Girls.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know your name. I knew a Garvey out here. Yeah. Wow. Are y'all ready for winter? I hope you have some supplies. I wonder, is stuff running out? Are people like, I feel pretty, you know.
I've been seeing a lot of articles about the economy, about food, about yeah, we're kind of in trouble.
Mhm.
So stack it if you can. I've had to get into my prep, so that kind of went out the door. So now I have to try and rebuild real quick. But I'm not worried. It's not,
Yeah.
you know,
Wool blankets are good. Yeah. How
unless
cold?
we get a bunch of this winter.
How cold does it get where you are at? Like, what if you don't have power? Do you have a way to heat up so you can stay warm, or?
Not yet. When I get out to my mom's, I will. She just got a Generac connected to her house. And last year I had talked her into getting my buddy, Mr. Buddy, whatever it is, heater. And so she's going to let me have that. I'm supposed to be making quilts because when we had Snowmageddon, that was the one thing that I could find that really kept me warm in the middle of the night when there was no power. I do have a crocheted blanket that my grandmother made. It's pretty good too. And I do know how to crochet. So the two of those combined is good. But I have a fire kit where I can heat up or cook food as needed. That was one of the things that I couldn't really figure out when we had Snowmageddon. And this community is the one that has helped me figure out so many things. I have tea lights that I can put in my electric stove burners and they'll cook. And I have, are they called sterno cans? And then my son-in-law was worried about me, so he got me some more of those. And I have lanterns. Excuse me. Goodness, excuse me. I have kind of collected lamps, the oil lamps, so that's a good thing. So I did get some oil. And because you kept repeating that Bible verse, and then Someone bought me a kerosene lamp for my birthday last year, but I'm not really worried about light. It's just what I was more worried about was that it was going to happen during the summer. Because when we were up to 110 and 20 without air conditioning, we would have fried. That was my biggest concern. We don't get as cold. Snowmageddon, it got down to 5 degrees. But typically, we don't get as cold as the northern states. I've noticed that it's kind of the same all the way across the board now with the temperatures. Like last night, our low was 41, and then the high today was like 68. And so that's, I think, why everyone around here is getting sick, because it's such a drastic up and down. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be 75 and then drop again down into the 50s the next day. So we're just up and down right now. And where I think up north it's kind of stays more constant, but I could be wrong.
I don't know what's your low though. How low can it get for you?
Well, that's what I said. The lowest I've ever seen it was 5 degrees.
Oh, 5. I'm sorry. I didn't catch it. Jenny, I'm so sorry. I know that neighbor. I was going to mention that about the elder abuse when you mentioned that too. She's been watching her elder get abused from across the street for a while now. And it's like, you almost don't even want to call anybody, because it's like, who are you going to call? And then she's going to become a ward of the state? Is that better, than her being in her own home and being abused by someone she knows? Because a lot of times they're going to be abused in those homes too.
See, Anne said in Canada, the temperatures are up and down too. Yeah, it's crazy. And I noticed a whole lot of X's and lines in the sky today. Where yesterday it was so beautiful and clear. I was out there taking pictures of the sky and trees and everything looking so pretty. And then today I walked out there and I saw that and I was like,
yeah, somebody posted
on
chemtrails today.
Yep.
I don't remember who it was. Somebody we both know, I think, on Facebook, because we're friends on Facebook. And I can't remember who it was, but yeah, they were saying, or was it Snafu Radio? One of those streamers had showed the whole, Peggy Hall, I don't know, somebody, a damn good show. 2 old ladies talking is a damn good show. Well, I feel obligated to make it better. What can we do? I don't know how to tap dance or anything. I was on the phone with Jenny a couple times, and she'd be so upset because I think it was the son that was misusing the mom. He'd just be grabbing her by her arm, and Jenny'd be we'd pray. We'd just pray. I mean, that poor woman. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of that going on since COVID. There's domestic abuse, elderly abuse, persecution is everywhere I look. The township has been persecuting small businesses since COVID, and they're not stopping, and they're not going to stop. And people are still afraid to just run their business in the private. When even Trump said a couple weeks ago, and it's probably an old clip of him saying, they're talking to him about his taxes. He's talking about himself and his taxes and how perfect he is. His perfect phone calls and his perfect taxes and his perfect everything, right? And he's like, my perfect taxes. They can't get anything on me. I can't help it if I know how to not pay as much taxes with my private businesses. your PMAs, your First Amendment right to associate, people still getting licenses. I mean, look, they're not even willing to. I can get being not willing to not want to give up your driver's license, I guess, if you don't want to go through that fight. But the business, once you learn another way to do it, and you don't have to do business that way, why are we still doing everything that makes us a slave to this corporation that oppresses us? I can't stand it. It's making good people go crazy. Fighters are tired, you know.
And I kind of wonder, the the towers that they started putting up with the boxes on them, the lights that they were putting up. And I've seen some videos showing what's coming out of those. Well, can't it change people and make them do things they wouldn't ordinarily do?
Oh, like well, I mean, I think that's what they were saying. The jabbed people were saying, the jabbed people were saying, I mean, not the jabbed people, but the researchers were saying that the jabbed people were going to be controllable more because of the mRNA vaccine, right? They're going to have, I mean, I wonder,
More.
Is that what you mean?
No, not just the jab. I mean everybody. I've seen,
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
even with like that solar flare burst that just hit a few days ago.
Uh-huh.
I was out of character. I'll just say that.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know if it was because of that. I can sit here and blame it on that and say, I'm not crazy. I don't go ballistic over stupid stuff for no reason, which I typically don't. I am usually so calm and so relaxed and
That's
so,
Yeah, you're very chill.
except
Were you crazy that
until somebody makes me mad, and then I'll be, okay, what makes you think that you're right? And I want to know. I mean, I can get that. That's what you think, dude.
cocked and
But
loaded like me all the time? What you talking about,
yeah,
Willis?
so see,
Hold my hair. Go ahead. Sorry, that was a
I
video.
am told girls like that. I don't like my hair pulled, but
There's a TikTok that sent me where these. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
Wow.
we don't know. We don't know what it is. And so we can't just love our neighbors as ourselves. Love seems to be how many times is love said in the Bible? I bet it's a bunch more than. Is that the one that's 365 times?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know all the stats. I do have a book, though. I do have a pretty cool, it's called Leaves of Gold. And there is a little excerpt. There's a lot of little, like, fun facts about the Bible, and it has this,
Thank you.
it talks about, like, the beginning of the Bible and the end of the Bible, and then middle, Psalm 117 is the shortest psalm in the Bible. There's so much, there's so many things that when people say that man created the Bible, and that they planned all this out with the Bible, and I'm just like, okay, you ain't
But
reading it.
I can see where the evil would use the Bible.
Studying it would say that. You know what the thing is, the common denominator of people that read it and study it and live life, they don't believe that. Only the people that don't study it for a living believe that. That's what I'm saying. So,
Really.
yeah.
Have you seen the plan?
The Rockefeller plan?
But yes, the 100-year-old, however long ago plan.
Have you seen the Dead Sea Scrolls? The book of Isaiah, how they pulled that sucker out in our lifetime? I mean, there's too many when you just start to study people who've studied the Bible, even if you just started to study people who studied the Bible and they bore down on one topic, that's usually enough. Like prophecy is the one I went for right off the bat because I didn't want to miss anything. Like, there's still prophecies that haven't come true yet. Well, cool. Let's get studying. Revelation. Hello. It's a revelation. It's not revelations. It's the revelation. And it is the last prophecy. And we're going to be living through it if we're not living through it. The scholars I've studied under believe in pre-trib. We're not going to be here after chapter 4. The church is gone after chapter 4 of the Bible, of Revelation. We're taken out. And Thessalonians talks about that. Just the same way Jesus went up. He went up in the sky, he's coming back in the sky. It's not hard to believe we're going up with him. It sounds fair, airy-fairy, but so do all the miracles. Noah's Ark and Jonah and the whale. But humans have been spit up after being swallowed by a whale. That has happened. And they've recreated Noah's Ark, and we've been lied to about our history, obviously. There's books they kept out of the Bible. I do know that, but I do not believe for a second man could concoct in his peon little brain the treasures in that book. There's no way.
No, that's not what I was saying. I was saying, don't you think that the evil ones could know the Bible just as well as any scholar? All they got to do is read it and study it and use it to make us think that biblical times are here.
Yes. I know people that believe wholeheartedly we're in the millennium, that when Nero, it was a lot at the time of Nero, Jesus already came back. We're living in the millennium. They believe this, I'm sure there's a lot of good people that believe that. I don't make fun of them for what they believe. People that believe flat earth or whatever, I don't know. I mean, have you been around the earth? Because I haven't. So I'm not going to make fun of people who believe, it's stupid. I don't really care what people believe. I do like to know what they believe. And it's a shame. It's always got to come off like it's a fight, but it's not. It's not. I mean, Louis and I sometimes, he gets on my nerves about those affidavits. He doesn't think they work. He's done it the last 3 times I've been on, sitting there arguing with him about freaking affidavits. I'm going to tell him before we go on next time, don't start getting on me about affidavits again. I don't want to get in a battle with you and have to remind you again of how they worked for Mama T. You're embarrassing yourself.
Yes.
At this point. Stop it. And that's what I've got dealing with it with Humboldt. These people that don't get on the assembly call, they don't do the affidavits, they don't believe in the remedy. It's like, dang. So what are you doing? What's the point of you having a media? What are you going to point everybody to? So you're just sitting there on your freaking soapbox complaining about all the problems? No, they serve a purpose. They're not the sellout media, but they're following in their footsteps. They're being just like them. So I don't know what they should be like. It's It's hard to see it formulate. It was hard to live through all the patriots fragmenting apart and everybody going for the media. That was really hard, and nobody working together. Everybody's got to stream their own thing now. I would work with them if
Yes.
they were interested in the Constitution, but they're not.
Right.
One guy wanted me to go out and drum up a ceasefire freaking protest. I was like, are you high? What kind of drugs are you on? I never even replied to him. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I mean, they left 66 books, and the Apocrypha, Devil Dog's always talking about that. I'm going to get that Egyptian book. That's where they left out, like, Enoch and Tobias, Maccabees. Those are in the Catholic book. I had a Catholic Bible for a while. I borrowed it to my neighbor. But, and it had some of those other.
I'm also trying to get a Q expert guest.
Oh, yeah. Gina in Humboldt County? There is a Gina in Humboldt County. Who's great. Jason Q.
Gina Marie Calvin on YouTube.
I don't know them. I do like watching Trey Smith. He had a really good video about the Black Cube. That was one of the last videos.
Yeah. All right, girls.
That's what I believe.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, let's call it 3 hours.
Do what?
I said, let's call it before it goes into 3 hours.
Right.
I'll make it out of here before it turns into a 3-hour stream. You know what I mean?
Well, Aniat Jack shared a song with me.
Oh, yeah,
let me see if I can
it's gonna be
find it. Yes, we've got to end with a good song to get everybody calmed down. Feeling good.
Calm down, everybody. Calm down. I need things to be calm right now.
Is it going to start right away? Yes. Don't start right away. Maybe it's not. My computer is so slow.
Yeah, I play the piano, Chrissy Cat. I always imagine I'm playing for you guys. I'm going to open up a lounge but it really doesn't sound good it just doesn't. It doesn't sound good.
Whatever. You could sit there and play your guitar and I'd be happy.
Yeah, you like the guitar better. I'm not a guitarist. I can't play.
I saw you sitting outside playing your guitar.
I can play.
Singing.
I can't sing, but Jesus likes my singing.
And I didn't say I like the guitar better. I just said that
you do, though.
Good.
You do, though. That's okay. You get to have a preference. I let you have a preference, and I still love you.
I still love you. Okay, I'm gonna share this song.
Lounge. Come hang out with me. I love you guys. Bye.
Oh, I was just gonna share this song, and then if you have any last words, or do you want to say bye now? It's up to you.
It's up to you. Yeah, I'll say goodbye now. Put my phone on.
You're not gonna hang out and talk to me?
Yes, I can. I have to go put my phone on the charger.
Then I will tell all of y'all good night. Thank you so much for joining us, and I really appreciate all the different views and opinions as usual. I'm not sure when I'll be live again. Could be tomorrow night, could be I don't know when. um, maybe even Friday after the live nativity. It depends on the traffic, what time I go, because it's been crazy here. We've had a lot of fatalities.
Oh,
So
no.
many people are losing family
Oh,
right here during the holidays, and it just keep them lifted up in prayer. It, every time I hear it, and our military that's over there fighting in battles that they shouldn't be, and all the people that are here trying to make this a better place, trying to catch the bad guys. All of those people need our prayers. So y'all all have a good night. God bless you. Love you. And
Chrissy
thank you
Cat,
so much.
William. Good night, honey. Thank you.
And yes, Echo, I will. And here is the song. And I will send that while it's playing. I have no clue what this song is. Antioch Jack, I hope you did me good. Oh, I got to mute. Oh, I can't mute while that's up. Ah, okay, start over. Mute.
From the pain and the trouble, and the words they say which we won't understand. Don't accept that what's happening is just a case of all the suffering. Oh, you'll find that you're joining in, you're turning away. It's a sin that somehow light is changing to shadow, and casting its shroud over all we have known. All the while the ransom throne, driven on by a heart of stone, we can find that we're all in the dream of the ground. The turning away. The turning away. The turning away. The turning away. On the wings of the night, as the daytime is stirring, will the speechless night in a silent echo. find the strange, mesmerized as they light the flame. Feel the new rhythmic change on the wings of the night. On the wings of the night. Is it only a dream that there'll be no more turning away? No more turning away from the weak and the weary. No more turning away from the coldness inside. Just a world that we all must share. It's not enough just to stand and stare. Is it only a dream that there'll be no more turning away? It's a sin that somehow light is changing to shadow and casting its shroud over all we have known. Unaware how the ranks have grown, driven on by a heart of stone. We could find that we're all alone in the dream of the ground. On the turning away from the pain and the trouble, and the words they say which we won't understand. Don't accept that what's happening is just a case of all the suffering. Oh, you'll find that you're joining in the turning away. The turning away. The turning away. The turning away.
I wonder if Anna got the link. Maybe I need to send it.
Still live.
Oh, good
Night,
night, everyone.
love you.
Love you all. Have a blessed night. Thank you for being here. Good night.